Great. Now we are once again in our console just to look at how the window functions work, and we have about 5 business questions to demonstrate this. Now your manager wants you to create a query that returns the following columns: the sales order ID, the product ID, the order quantity, the total order quantity, average order quantity, minimum order quantity, and maximum order quantity for each sales order ID. So what that means is that for each of these aggregations, we are going to then now partition them based on the sales order ID. So what have been given to us is, so we'll write our select statement here, and we need the sales order ID. We need the sales order ID, we need the product ID, we also need the order quantity. We need the order quantity. However, we then now need the total order quantity, which is going to be the sum. So I'll put a comma here and say sum order quantity, and this is going to be over for each of the sales order ID. So this will be partition by sales order ID, and this is going to be as total. We also need the average order quantity, so we'll say average order quantity, and this will be over partition by the sales order ID as average, and we'll have the count of order quantity over partition by sales order ID as count, or we just say total count. Then we'll have the mean of the order quantity. So I could just copy this over partition by. I'll call this as minimum, and the final one is the max order quantity over partition by sales order ID as maximum, and all these are coming from sales LT dot sales order detail. Okay, now if I then now run the entire thing here and execute, I will then now have for each of the sales order ID, the total quantity, the average, the total count, the minimum, and also the maximum. Great job. Now the second business question says that our manager wants us to list all orders with their running total. So basically the running total is just going to be a cumulative sum of all the orders. So for all the others, we'll definitely need the first name. So this was still going to be a comment here. So we need the first name, we need the last name, we need the order number, we also need the total amount and the running total, which is going to be our cumulative sum. All right, so let's break it down because this is coming from a different database entirely. I mean, we're picking our data from two different, the same database, but two different tables, which is the DBO customer and the DBO order, right? So let's break it down. So we'd say the first name is definitely coming from, so first name is coming from DBO.customer, and we'll give that table a C. the last name is also coming from, so last name is also coming from dbo.customer, which is also a C. The order number is coming from dbo.order, which is going to be an O. And the total amount, which is our running total, amount is coming from dbo.order, which is also going to be O. Now we are specifying two different tables and the relationship between C and O. So relationship between C and O is in ID. So we can actually check that out. dbo.order, we have an ID here, and dbo.customer, yeah, we also have an ID here. So that establishes the relationship. Now to write this query, all we just have to do is to select c.firstName, c.lastName, o.order number, and o.total amount. However, we need a cumulative sum, so here we would use our aggregate window function, which is sum, and we are summing all the total number, the total amount, and all this is going to be partitioned over by every customer's last name, right, or every customer's first name, anyone. So here I would say order by c.lastName. I will call this as the running total, right, and this is coming from dbo.order as O join dbo.customer as C, and I'm joining them on O.id is equals to C.id. Okay, so by the time we then now ID. All right, so let's run this entire cell and see what it gives us. Great, now we can see that we then now have the running total. So if I should add 538.60 plus 642.80 should give me this value. So this value plus this value should give me this value. This value plus this value should give me this value, and so on till we get to the final value of this. Okay, so whatever you want to order it by, you could decide to order it by the last name. So it orders it. Now you can see how the last name is ordered alphabetically, or you could decide to order this by the first name. So if I change this to first name, right, it then now orders it by the first name alphabetically.